Hey everybody, it's John from Live and Ready. It's good to see you again. As you can see, I'm in a slightly different location. We've just been having a lovely holiday up in the middle of the Lake District and the Pennines actually. And we've taken a break because a friend has just bought some wonderful holiday cottages up here, and it was good to catch up with him and to hear what he's doing, because he's actually developing something himself around the location up here, around teaching and training other people on how to grow food for themselves. But also he's been practicing this for a long time himself. But they've bought these properties in order to gather people together, have a business to be able to make profits for themselves, so that they can actually run the facility themselves in growing the land, helping to develop the land and grow their own food sustainably, but also to teach other people how to do it, and have people come to these properties and spend time here with them to learn and be taught how to do it themselves in their own context. And so this is a little bit of not quite their back garden, but we climbed these mountains as a family the other day. It was absolutely brilliant. About 10-minute walk to get there, and then 2.5 hours up and down. So I'll just give you a little bit of a tour, because one thing that I've just really appreciated is the fact that of having time has been amazing to think through why am I doing what I'm doing, or why am I starting this journey, and it's just great to be able to chat, together with you around what I'm doing personally in my garden, and just normal people, and having a normal kind of back garden, normal facilities, normal sized garden, although I'm really appreciating the fact that I do have a decent sized garden. And then what we can do, it's trying to figure out what is possible. And my friends here have taken it to the next level, because they want to teach people who have different sized gardens. So if they're looking into, in a similar way to me but a different scale with better experience, for somebody who just has a window box, to be able to, how do you grow seeds and how do you do that in an urban environment? And also the next part is, if you've got a small garden, if you're in a modern housing estate and you've got a really small garden, how could you do this yourself? And then if you've got sort of like ex-council house estate like I have, with a good sized garden, what can you do with the land you've got? Up to, if you've got a significant sized land, how do you grow sustainably with that level of land? And they're going to be able to teach. They're going to be able to teach different people at different stages of experience with different sized land what to do and how to do it themselves, because that's their experience, which is amazing. And I'm actually walking through their garden now, so you can I'll show you the properties in a minute. But it's just been wonderfully reflective. And in fact, if I turn around here, I'll show you in the background is the Lake District. You probably can't see it that well, but there's hills in the background, and that's the Lake District. And then back around from where I was earlier on, those hills are the Pennines. And so they're in the middle. A beautiful, beautiful location. But I've taken time to reflect this week on why am I doing what I'm doing? What is the purpose? What's the vision? Is there a mission? Have I got goals? And although I haven't had that fully formed and developed yet, just having that space has been wonderful to be able to think it through, so that in the future I can share it with you, because there definitely is purpose to this. Even while we've been here, we've had all kinds of things kicking off, with my last video around the farmers going on strike with the flour shortages, the wheat shortages being stopped at the farms. So if you can hear that background, that's the farmer just giving feed to the sheep. And I've also been a lot of noise around resilience from a power perspective. If you don't have there's like the media outlets have been saying that we should be seeking as individuals and families to have 72 hours of alternative power in our houses just in case something happens. So it's just interesting what's actually going on. And all of this leads me to think about the reality of how it's important to think about this stuff. And so many people aren't thinking about how to be resilient. So many people aren't thinking about what happens if, what happens if there are food shortages? What happens if there are power shortages? What happens if there is disruption to water supply? What happens if there is, sort of like extreme weather and things happen and, it affects us in our lifestyles. But taking the time is really, really worthwhile. And here's a little bit of there you go. Here's a bit of a background into their houses. It's they've got a number of properties here. It's called Kirkland Hall Holiday Cottages. I really would recommend it. You can come here for a break, hire the places out. Beautiful location in the middle of nowhere, to be honest. But also they do midweek training sessions as well, mainly in the summer at the moment. But definitely consider coming up if you are thinking about what does it mean and what could you do in order to live ready and to grow food sustainably. Then my friends will be able to help train you to a different level, and I've got plenty to learn, and we're just on the journey together, and we'll see what happens. But this has been a beautiful week in between the Lake District and the Pennines. I'll put a link to their property for the holiday cottages as well. I just highly recommend it. It's been a beautiful place to unplug, to do a little bit of touristy stuff, but to relax and think as a family has been pretty special. So I'm very, very grateful to Nick and Anna, and if you want to go, I'd recommend it. But keep thinking around all of this stuff. What does it mean to you to live ready? What does it mean in your daily life? How do you need to think differently about your routines, your attitudes? If things changed in your world or in your society or in your family, wherever you are, what would you need to do differently now in order to start getting ready? Because like you've seen in the news, things do happen, things are happening, and it's great to be able to just walk with you on this journey towards living ready. But I'm going to sign off now. I don't have to get to 10 minutes. I said I'd keep it under 10 minutes. There you go. I'll catch you next week. You take care. Bye-bye.